Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're exploring a truly unique and, frankly, pretty perplexing case. We're talking about a family where 5 members, spanning generations, have all dealt with the exact same challenge, back surgery. It's such an unusual pattern, it just begs for some kind of explanation. And our deep dive today will take us into, well, the principles of karma and past lives to try and find one.
It really is an extraordinary example. Sometimes life's challenges, especially the really persistent ones, can point towards these deeper threads. Our focus today is on the spiritual journey and these really puzzling health issues faced by a devout Buddhist nun in Thailand. She's wearing the white robes, a Mae Chee, and she was actively seeking answers, looking towards karma and past lives.
Right, and the insights we're going to discuss, they come directly from a detailed case study that she herself presented. She took it to a spiritual teacher who then offered this, well, wisdom connecting her current suffering and her family's suffering to actions from this life and previous ones.
Exactly. So our mission today is really to unpack this fascinating story. We want to explore the intricate workings of karma as they're presented in this specific case. And also think about what it might mean for understanding those really persistent challenges we all might face in life.
Yeah, it's more than just a story, isn't it? It feels like a lens, a really profound one, to view cause and effect maybe playing out across lifetimes.
Precisely. So let's start with our main subject, this devoted Buddhist nun, the Mae Chee. She's actually embraced monastic life twice, which is interesting in itself. Her first time at 37 was really spurred by the deep sadness she felt when her father passed away. That experience kind of opened her eyes to the suffering of separation.
Ah, okay, so that was the catalyst.
Yes. Then, after recovering from hyperthyroidism, she returned to monastic life at age 42, and she's now been ordained for, wow, nearly 20 years.
And she's not just meditating in isolation, right?
No.
She's quite active.
Very active. She actually co-founded the Buddha Barami Meditation Center in Phetchabun, Thailand. It's on land they inherited from her parents. It's been running for nearly 2 years now, and apparently many people go there to practice.
That's significant. And she has specific programs she values.
She does. She mentioned appreciating things like the Dhammasat satellite dish that broadcasts Buddhist teachings globally, and also this Dream and Dream kindergarten school program, which is more of a spiritually focused education system. She feels these particular programs offer really deep insights, maybe helping to reveal unseen realms and how karma works.
Okay, so she's deeply involved, deeply spiritual. But then there's this core mystery. Despite all her devotion, she and 4 other family members, 2 older sisters, a younger brother, and her late father have all needed back surgery. That's the uncanny recurrence she's trying to understand.
And the details of these back problems are, well, they're quite striking. The similarities really suggest there's some shared thread running through it. Let's start with a nun's own experience. It sounds quite harrowing. At 33, she had a fall, needed surgery for a bone issue, but apparently the procedure mistakenly focused on a nerve knot instead. This led to just persistent poor health.
Oh, wow. A medical error on top of the injury.
Seems like it. Then, years later, at 49, she had a second surgery, obviously hoping for improvement, but what happened instead was, well, devastating. Her condition got worse, she ended up with numbness in both legs, had to use a cane, and developed severe bowel dysfunction. This needed years of laxatives, detox treatments, just immense suffering, really.
That's just awful. And her sisters, their stories are almost unbelievable.
They really are. Her oldest sister and her 6th sister now, they're 12 years apart in age, remember, both experienced severe back pain. Both were diagnosed with worn and eroded spines. And get this, both underwent surgery at the exact same age.
37.
37, both of them, 12 years apart. Exactly. Both got medical devices implanted and apparently saw some improvement.
That synchronicity. It screams pattern, doesn't it? It really highlights this potential karmic link we're exploring.
It certainly points strongly in that direction. And the thread continues. Her 7th brother, he also faced intense back pain when he was 50, numb legs too, needed surgery for a slip disc. Thankfully, his condition did improve afterwards.
Okay, so that's 4 siblings now. And then there's the father. His story was part of the initial puzzle.
Right, the father. He had quite a life. He was a soldier for 5 years, then a pig farmer for nearly a decade.
Pig farmer. Sorry.
And finally an orange farmer. Then, at age 70, he had a fall in his garden, broke his spine, needed surgery. His health kind of went downhill after that, and he passed away 7 years later at 77 from hepatitis. One notable thing, he donated his body to medical students.
So 5 people, 5 back surgeries across these generations, it just seems impossible for that to be random chance. What did the spiritual teacher say? What's the deeper explanation for this pattern?
Okay, so this is where it gets really, really fascinating. According to the teacher, the common thread connecting the nun, her 2 sisters, and her brother, it goes back to a past life in an agricultural society somewhere.
A shared past life.
Yes. As children in that life, the 4 of them apparently raised animals together. And they frequently rode this young donkey, all 4 of them, at the same time.
4 kids on 1 young donkey. Oh, dear.
Exactly. And to make it walk, they would vigorously shake its back. Just imagine. Causing the animal immense pain, this repeated torment, this specific action. That, according to the teaching, is the direct karmic cause for their shared back problems in this current life.
Wow. That's incredibly specific. A collective karma, almost. We usually think of karma as so personal, right? An individual thing. What's the significance of a shared action leading to such a specific shared consequence for a whole family group like this?
That's a really important point this case brings up. While, yes, individual karma definitely shapes our unique experiences, like the nun's specific leg numbness and bowel issues, which will be too, this case also shows how collective actions, things done together, can create these enduring shared destinies or patterns. The donkey torment bound them together in this experience of back pain. But the nun's extra suffering, her specific issues, they stem from other distinct individual actions from her past.
Okay, so on top of that shared donkey karma, her personal suffering, the numbness, the bowel problems, maybe needing a 3rd surgery, those have separate roots.
Exactly. There's additional personal karma layering on top for her. Her leg numbness, for instance, is tied to 2 other past actions. First, apparently in a past life, she hit a snake on its back with a stick, hurt it badly enough that it had to flee.
Okay. Hitting an animal's back.
And second, riding that same donkey we talked about, but this time alone. When it refused to move, probably because it was already in pain, she hit its legs with a stick. So that action, hitting the legs, directly connects to her current leg numbness.
The connection is so direct. And the bowel issues.
Those are linked, again in the past, to binding or confining animals, tying them up, restricting their movement, causing them suffering through that immobility. The teaching suggests that restricting movement in others can manifest as issues with one's own internal movement, like the bowels.
It's just remarkable how granular these connections are presented. Hitting a snake, binding an animal, leading to these very precise physical problems. For someone listening, this level of detail might feel, well, almost too neat, maybe. Is this kind of precision typical when people discuss karmic links, or is this case just unusually clear?
Well, this case does offer a striking clarity, that's true. But the underlying principle that specific actions create specific tendencies and conditions, that's fundamental to the concept of karma in these teachings. When the conditions are right, the karma ripens, and it often manifests in ways that mirror the original action. So while the details here are very specific, the idea of precision isn't unusual. It's like, the seed contains the blueprint for the specific fruit it will become.
That makes sense. Like planting a specific seed gets you a specific plant. Okay. What about her hyperthyroidism, the illness she recovered from during her first ordination? Was that also woven into this karmic fabric?
Yes, apparently so. Her hyperthyroidism was explained as a combination of 2 things. One was a tendency in a past life to hold grudges, easily finding it hard to forgive. And the other was, again, overworking animals, pushing them past their limits, leaving them exhausted and hungry.
Holding grudges and mistreating animals.
Yeah.
Leading to thyroid issues.
But here's the other side of the coin. The spiritual teacher also pointed out that her accumulated merit played a crucial role. Her merit from things like charity, from diligently keeping the ethical precepts, the sila, the basic moral guidelines for monastics, and from practicing celibacy, all that positive karma actually helped to cut short the negative karmic effect of the hyperthyroidism, leading to her recovery.
So it's like the merit acted as a buffer, or an antidote even. That's a really powerful idea. So moving beyond the physical problems, what else does this deep dive tell us about the bigger picture of their lives? Like the nun's spiritual path, her parents' fates after death?
It's all woven together. The nun's strong pull towards monastic life, and even the fact she disrobed and then reordained, it all has deep roots according to the teaching. In one past life, she was actually a male monk, so she developed this deep, ingrained inclination for that way of life.
Okay, familiarity from a past life.
Right. Then, in another more recent life as a woman, she went through intense suffering. Family problems, specifically her husband being unfaithful. This was despite her apparently having meticulously sorted out all his other issues. That pain led her to make a very strong vow to pursue celibacy in her next life.
So that vow carried over.
It seems so. Her first disrobement in this life was apparently due to that old karma from tormenting animals finally ripening and creating obstacles. But her deep familiarity with celibacy from being a monk, plus that powerful vow she made, those were the forces that eventually pulled her back to monastic life.
That explains that push and pull dynamic she experienced. Fascinating. And her father. His back surgery started this whole inquiry. What about his karmic situation?
Right, the father, his back surgery, and his relatively early death from hepatitis,
Wow.
these were linked to his karma in this life. Specifically, being a soldier, which likely involved combat or killing, and also raising pigs for slaughter. That decade as a pig farmer.
The killing aspect.
Yes. And here's a quite shocking detail from the teaching. Apparently, when he died, his kamanamita, the vision appearing at the moment of death, which reflects one's karma and indicates the next rebirth, showed him being reborn as a pig, destined for slaughter.
Whoa. Reborn as a pig.
That was the immediate trajectory. However, he had also accumulated significant merit through Buddhist practices during his life. That merit was strong enough to prevent him from falling into one of the great hells, despite the negative karma. And furthermore, that act of donating his body to medical science. That was seen as a meritorious act that will help reduce his negative karma from killing in the future.
So even after death, his choices continued to shape his path. That's quite something. What about her mother? What was revealed about her?
The mother, she was a former teacher and then a homemaker. She passed away from intestinal cancer. This illness was attributed to karma from killing animals, but likely for food preparation during her life, rather than raising them for slaughter like the father.
Okay, still connected to killing, but maybe a different quality or intensity.
Perhaps. But importantly, she consistently made merit through traditional Buddhist practices throughout her life. And because of that positive accumulation, she was reborn, not in a difficult state, but as a good earth deity, like a nature spirit with her own celestial mansion. It really shows how different paths and actions, even within the same family, lead to vastly different outcomes.
Absolutely. Understanding all these past actions and their consequences really brings the idea of actively shaping the future into sharp focus, doesn't it? What does this case study suggest about, how one can consciously cultivate merit and build a better path, maybe towards liberation?
Well, the case strongly emphasizes the power of certain actions. Establishing a meditation center like the nun did is highlighted as incredibly meritorious. It's an act that benefits many others on their spiritual path. The teaching lists the results. Things like physical beauty, wealth, good qualities, honor, happiness. And ultimately, it serves as a condition, a supporting factor, for attaining the path and fruition of nirvana itself.
So helping others practice is a powerful way to generate positive momentum.
Extremely powerful. And the teaching mentioned the Sapaya Four, the four comforts needed for the best kind of center, the most conducive environment for practice. That's comfortable food, supportive people, a suitable place or abode, and beneficial Dharma teachings. Creating those conditions maximizes the benefit.
Right. It's about creating that optimal environment. Now, the nun herself has a specific goal, doesn't she? To reach Dusipuri. For listeners who might not know, Dusipuri is considered a special heavenly realm, often associated with bodhisattvas, those advanced beings aiming for enlightenment to help all others. How does her past connect to this aspiration, and what advice was she given?
Yes, her aspiration for Dusipuri is also linked to her past. In that life where she was a male monk, she was part of a spiritual community. But apparently she left that community maybe feeling disappointed or that her expectations weren't met and decided to meditate alone.
Ah, so a tendency towards solitary practice, perhaps.
Possibly. So the advice given to her for reaching Dusipuri in the future was twofold. First, to consistently build merit with the community, counteracting that past separation. And second, to make firm, clear aspirations every single day throughout her life. Keep the goal firmly in mind. It suggests that both sustained individual effort and positive engagement with the community are key.
That makes sense, reinforcing the intention and building the necessary collective merit. And as a kind of final, concrete action reflecting this, the nun and her sixth sister, the one who also had back surgery at 37, they plan to donate to something called the Crystal Pillar Fund. This seems like a powerful symbol of their ongoing commitment, right? Building on everything they've learned.
Exactly. It signifies their dedication to continued spiritual progress, fueled by their understanding of karma and their aspiration for those higher realms. It really ties the whole journey together, understanding the past to consciously shape a better future.
So after diving into all this, what does it really mean? What's the takeaway for you listening right now? I think this case study offers a really profound way of looking at things, the interconnectedness of our actions, our intentions, and what happens later. It suggests that maybe even things that feel random, like a specific health issue hitting multiple family members, could actually be threads in this much larger tapestry of karma.
It definitely challenges us to think about the long-term echoes of our choices, especially, and this comes through so clearly in the case, how we treat other living beings.
Yeah, that theme of animal karma is so central here.
It is. And it leads to a final thought, maybe something provocative for you to consider. If the suffering we experience can be, as this teaching suggests, a direct result of our past actions, even actions we don't remember from lives ago, then what conscious choices can you, right now, make today? What seeds can you sow for a future that's freer from suffering? Not just for yourself, but maybe also for everyone whose life you touch, even in small ways.
A powerful question to reflect on. How do we weave threads of compassion and kindness now to design a better future reality?